Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Story Podcast, where we help you grow in English and in life, one real conversation at a time. I'm Hope, and as always, I'm here with my fantastic co host, Mark.
Hi, everyone. There's a sentence many English learners say very quietly, sometimes only inside their own mind. I'm bad at English. It sounds simple, but it feels heavy. It feels personal.
It feels like something about you, not just the language. If you've ever said this to yourself, this episode is for you.
Maybe you say it after you forget a word.
Maybe you say it after someone corrects you.
Maybe you say it when you compare yourself to others and feel behind.
Over time, this sentence can start to feel like the truth,
Not just a thought, but an identity.
and that belief can be very painful.
Because when you believe you're bad at English, every mistake feels bigger.
Every pause feels like proof.
Before we go any further, let's slow down for a moment.
Take a small breath. This episode is not here to push you. It's not here to tell you to try harder.
It's here to gently question that sentence you've been carrying. What if "I'm bad at English" is not the truth?
What if it's just a story you learned over time?
Today, we're going to look at that belief calmly and honestly.
Not to judge it, but to understand it.
You don't need to defend yourself here.
You don't need to prove anything.
You're safe to explore this idea slowly.
Let's begin. The belief, I'm bad at English, usually doesn't appear suddenly. It grows slowly, over time.
Often it starts in school. Many people learned English in classrooms where mistakes were highlighted more than progress.
Red marks, corrections, tests, scores.
Right answers felt good, but wrong answers felt heavy.
Little by little, English stopped feeling like a skill.
It started feeling like a judgment.
For some learners, the belief comes from comparison.
You look at classmates, coworkers, or people online and think,
They speak so easily. Why can't I?
you don't see their fear,
You don't see their years of practice.
you only see the result, and you compare it to your struggle.
For others, the belief comes from real life moments.
A conversation that didn't go well, a laugh that felt uncomfortable, a silence that felt too long.
The mind remembers these moments strongly. And to protect you, it creates a simple explanation. I'm bad at English.
But this belief is not a fact. It's a conclusion your mind made while trying to make sense of difficult experiences.
No one is born bad at a language.
Language is learned, and learning is uneven.
Some skills grow faster than others.
Listening might be strong. Reading might be easy.
Speaking might feel slow and fragile.
That doesn't mean you're bad at English.
It means one part of the skill needs more time and safety.
The problem is not that this belief appeared. The problem is that no one ever helped you question it.
So instead of asking, what's wrong with me?
A better question is, where did I learn to see myself this way?
And that question opens a much kinder door.
There is often a very clear memory connected to this belief.
A moment when you didn't just think, this is hard, but thought, I'm bad at this.
Maybe it was during a conversation. You prepared what you wanted to say. You practiced it in your head.
The sentence sounded good, clear, even confident.
But when it was time to speak, something changed.
The words came out differently. Slower, less clear.
Maybe you made a small mistake.
Maybe you stopped in the middle of the sentence.
Maybe the other person didn't understand and asked you to repeat.
In that moment, your attention wasn't on communication anymore. It was on yourself.
You became very aware of your voice, your accent, your pauses.
And later, when the conversation was over, the moment stayed with you. You replayed it again and again.
You thought about what you should have said, what you could have said, what you didn't say.
And quietly, almost without noticing, you gave that moment a meaning. I'm bad at English.
That sentence can feel like an explanation. It feels simple. It feels final.
But it's also very unfair. One moment does not define your ability.
One uncomfortable conversation does not erase everything you know. Yet the mind remembers negative moments more strongly than positive ones. It does this to protect you.
It thinks, if I label this as danger, maybe I can avoid it next time.
So the next time you have a chance to speak, you hesitate, you remember the feeling, and the belief becomes stronger.
If you recognize yourself in this story, pause here for a second. You didn't fail in that moment. You were learning in a difficult situation.
And that matters more than you think. So let's talk about the truth behind this sentence. I'm bad at English.
When you say this, it feels like a fact, but it's not a fact. It's a label. And labels are very powerful.
The word bad sounds final. It sounds like something that cannot change.
But language learning does not work that way. English is not one single skill.
It's many different skills working together. Listening, reading, writing, speaking.
You might be strong in one area and still struggle in another. That doesn't make you bad at English. It means your skills are uneven, which is completely normal.
Very often, when people say, I'm bad at English, what they really mean is something else. They might mean, I feel nervous when I speak.
I need more practice speaking out loud.
I'm afraid of making mistakes.
I freeze under pressure.
These are not signs of being bad at a language.
They are signs of being human in a vulnerable situation. Imagine someone learning to swim.
If they are afraid of deep water, does that mean they are bad at swimming? Or does it mean they need more time, safety, and practice?
Speaking a language works the same way. Struggling does not mean you lack ability.
Struggling means you are in the middle of learning. Another important truth is this:
Understanding English and speaking English grow at different speeds. You can understand a lot and still feel slow when speaking. That gap can feel frustrating.
but it is a normal stage, not a failure. The problem starts when you turn a temporary struggle into a permanent identity.
When speaking is hard for me right now becomes, I am bad at English. That shift adds weight. It adds shame.
And shame makes learning slower. So the truth is not that you are bad at English.
The truth is that you are learning a complex skill under pressure, and that changes how you should treat yourself.
Not with criticism, but with patience.
If you've been carrying the belief I'm bad at English, it can be hard to see your real ability.
So let's slow down and look at some quiet signs that often get ignored.
If you can understand this podcast right now, even if not every word, that is a sign.
Understanding spoken English takes time, attention, and experience.
If you watch videos, listen to podcasts, or read messages in English and usually know what's happening, that is a sign.
Your brain is already working with the language.
If you often know what you want to say, but struggle to say it smoothly, that is also a sign. It means the ideas are there.
The connection between thought and speech just needs practice. If you notice your own mistakes or correct yourself in your head, that is not failure.
That is awareness. And awareness is part of learning.
If you feel frustrated because you can't express yourself the way you want, that means you care about communication.
People who are truly bad at something usually don't care at all. Many learners only look at what they can't do yet.
They don't notice what is already working. They forget that language grows in layers. First, you understand. Then you recognize patterns.
Then you begin to speak, slowly, imperfectly. Struggling with speaking does not erase your listening, reading, or thinking skills.
It just shows where your learning edge is right now, so if you ever feel tempted to say, "I'm bad at English," pause. Look at the evidence.
Chances are you are not bad at English. You are simply still building confidence in one part of it, and that part can grow.
Now let's talk about a small but important shift you can make. It starts with the words you use when you think about yourself.
Saying I'm bad at English feels simple, but it's very heavy. It turns a skill into an identity.
And identities are hard to change. Instead of using labels, try using facts.
A fact is something specific and temporary. A label feels permanent. For example, instead of saying, I'm bad at English, you might say, speaking is the hardest part for me right now.
That sentence is very different. It doesn't attack you. It describes a situation. Or instead of saying, "I always make mistakes," you could say, "I'm still learning how to speak under pressure."
This is not positive thinking, it's honest thinking.
You're not pretending everything is easy. You're just being accurate.
When you speak to yourself with facts instead of labels, something softens.
Mistakes stop feeling like proof. They start feeling like information.
This also helps you separate you from the language. You are not English. English is something you are learning.
A difficult day does not mean you are bad. A quiet moment does not mean you are failing. So the next time that sentence appears, "I'm bad at English,"
Pause.
gently replace it with something true and kind. Not because you're weak.
But because learning works better without punishment. Now let's practice something a little different. This is not speaking practice.
This is how you speak to yourself. You can listen first.
Or you can repeat quietly in your mind or out loud. There is no rush. Take a small breath. I'm learning English.
Pause.
Learning means I don't need to be perfect.
Pause.
Making mistakes does not mean I'm bad.
Pause.
Speaking is a skill I'm still building.
Pause.
If these sentences feel strange, that's okay. New ways of thinking often feel unfamiliar at first.
You're not trying to convince yourself of something false. You're reminding yourself of something fair.
The way you speak to yourself matters. It shapes how safe learning feels.
And safety is where confidence begins.
Before we finish, pause for a moment and notice how this feels. Not lighter, not perfect, just different.
If you've believed for a long time that you're bad at English, questioning that belief can feel strange. But even questioning it is progress.
You are not your mistakes. You are not your pauses. You are not the slow moments.
You are someone learning a difficult skill in a second language. And that deserves patience, not criticism. Confidence doesn't appear suddenly.
It grows quietly when you stop attacking yourself and start allowing learning to happen. You don't need to rush this process. You don't need to compare yourself to anyone else.
Your experience is valid exactly as it is. If this episode helped you feel a little more understanding toward yourself, you're very welcome to stay.
You can subscribe and come back whenever you need a calm place to reflect, practice, and rebuild confidence.
Thank you for spending this time here. Be gentle with yourself today.
You are learning, and that is already enough.